So I found this new tool that helps you kind of get your content out on social media platforms. And one of the reasons why I was kind of digging into it and looking at it was because I was trying to make Twitter work again. Twitter's really died off over the last couple of years. I think a lot of people are just using bots to just publish content on Twitter, and not a whole lot of engagement, right? And my belief is that it's great to use Twitter to try to drive conversations to you. So it's great for you to actively go out and look at people sharing certain types of content and engage with that content. But what I love is just to create conversations that come to me, so that way I could just respond on the go. So schedule a bunch of content that goes out. People will maybe engage with it, and then on my phone, on my mobile device, I get a notification, and then I could just respond to those people and kind of create conversations that way. A few years ago, this was working great on Twitter. I met a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people who I'm actually friends with today. We met on Twitter, I'm talking 2009 to 2014 or so. But over the last few years, Twitter has really died down. It's this whole kind of bots thing that's going on. So what happened was I originally found this tool here. It's called Quuu Promote. Okay, some of you probably know about this, but I found this actually through AppSumo. I bought some deal on AppSumo, I don't know, like last year, I think. I bought these credits because I said, that sounds cool. I bought the credits and then never used it. And then again, I was doing some searching, trying to find ways to, get my content out there. And I came across it again. I was like, oh, that's that thing I've got those credits for. So opening it up again, I said, okay, let's see what this is. Let's try it out, right? Basically, the way it works is you buy these credits to basically promote your content. So you've got a blog post. You want people to share it on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I think this is the main, and Google Plus, if you want to share there. But you basically, put in the URL to your blog post, and they'll promote it for you for, I believe, 60 days, right? So, if you go with this, most popular plan here, you're paying about $30 per promotion, right? So I went in and I said, okay, let's just try it out. And, I had 5 credits that I ended up getting off this AppSumo. So I just, used one of my credits and said, let's see what happens. And I put in one of my posts there, and I'm just going to close this up and show this to you here. And here we go. So the first thing I put in here, right, which I did not optimize this post at all. Actually, I probably should have done a better job of optimizing it, because you can see I got 518 shares. That's actually a lot of shares. I'm actually surprised. For $30, that's a lot of shares. And these are not spam bots that are sharing it, which is what I'm going to get to next. Actually, this is the purpose of this video, is actually show you who's sharing this and how this is coming about. So 51 clicks out of 500 shares is, I don't think that's good. I don't know what the average metrics are through this platform, but I personally wouldn't say that's a good metric. But I also didn't really optimize my content. I didn't really understand how the platform was working. It was more of a curiosity. I was like, what happens if I put my link here, And so a lot of shares, that's cool, but not a lot of clicks. So there's definitely room for improvement. And I just put this in. This has been, it says expires in 35 days, which means that I put this in 25 days ago. Okay, I just been playing with this over the last couple of weeks. But what I want to show you is Quuu. Okay, so there's something called Quuu. If you look up here, it's quuu.co. Okay. But what I'm using here is called promote.quuu. So I think they call it Quuu Promote, right? So what happens was I originally found Quuu Promote, right? And that's what I was using. And then after I started getting some shares, I think originally I had like 50 or 80 shares after the first couple days. And then I was like, but who the hell is sharing it? So I went and I took the URL to my blog post and I punched it into Twitter, right? So I'm just going to show you kind of what I did here. So this was the blog post that I shared, right? So I took this URL right here. I went into Twitter search and I just punched it in. And then here you could see people who are sharing it 8 hours ago, right here. Marketing Success just shared it and so on, right? So I can even go in here and, it's a great way to engage with people here, I guess so. But you could go in and, basically, like it, to show that you like that they shared your content. So I thought that was pretty cool. So these are real people, right? This is not just a bunch of spam bots, right? Like you can open up, you could see this guy, he's a web developer or something. And Rick here is a serial entrepreneur, so on, right? So what's interesting about this whole thing, okay, so how this all kind of came about is Quuu Promote has this thing called Quuu. Okay, so it's not Quuu Promote, it's just Quuu.co. And this is where you pay to have them curate content for your social media profiles, right? Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+. So, my first curiosity was like, who is sharing? So when I saw who was sharing, I was like, how are they getting these people to share the stuff, right? So it wasn't that hard to figure it out, right? I just didn't take the time to do it at first, right? And so basically what it is, they sell a service where they'll fill your queue, your social content queue, for either for free they'll do 2 suggestions per day for free, or you can upgrade and so on. So I ended up taking this plan here for $15 per month. You get 6 profiles, unlimited interest categories. I'll show you that maybe later. And you can also review. I want to be able to review and manually approve or deny some of this content, because when I started off with the free plan, it was okay, but some of the content was questionable whether I'd share it or not. Sometimes I feel that if I'm sharing something through my profile, it's kind of like I'm endorsing that company, So if I don't really know what they do or who they are, or that sort of thing, I may or may not want to share it, depending on the context of the actual content, right? So I went with this $15 per month account. Now, what I realized later is I also had to have a premium Buffer account, right? Buffer is another tool used for scheduling content, right? So Quuu integrates with Buffer. I think they're the same company. I'm actually not totally sure about that. So, I'm also paying for a Buffer account, which I think was $10 a month, something like that. So I'm paying like $25 a month now to use this. And I've just been doing this for the last couple of weeks, just trying to see if it's going to do anything. But again, that's actually, I'm actually not making this video to promote this service. You could try it out. I can't tell you if it's good or bad right now. I'm more so just, I'm trying to see what's going to happen. I like my Twitter feed being full of content so that, it's always up to date and there's things going out. I have noticed an increase in followers, definitely an increase in engagement, because before I wasn't really tweeting anything. But whether or not that's going to result into any kind of, social good or profit is still yet to be seen, and I haven't used it enough to really know. Now, to the point of this video, all right, what I've been noticing. So because I chose the $15 per month plan and I wanted to be able to review the content before it gets published on my account, I've actually been doing this myself. And one of the reasons why I've been reviewing this myself versus outsourcing to someone else is because I'm curious to see how people structure their blog posts to actually get engagement and actually get readers. I'm trying to look at like what's actually getting my attention. So I just want to go through this with you right now, just show you what I mean here, okay? So here, if I click on view, I could view the full post, right? Which also allows me to see the link that goes out, right? If I click here on edit, I can actually edit, what the actual tweet says here, right? And then if I click here on approve, it'll go into my buffer queue. If I go on skip, it'll just remove it, right? One thing that I wish this tool did was get smart, so that way if they see me disapproving content from certain sites, that it would stop suggesting it to me. I'm noticing it's not doing that, which is probably the biggest thing I don't like about this tool. It's not becoming smart. It's not using any kind of AI to give me better suggestions. It's just throwing stuff at me, right? So for those of you who have not totally clear on how this works, so on Quuu Promote, people are paying to have their content put into your feed here on Quuu, right? So this person here paid potentially $30 or so to put this into my queue, and because I'm paying for Quuu and I chose that $15 per month account, I can manually review and edit any of the content that goes in my queue, right? So what I want to show you here is, when you're going in and you're, looking at this and you're trying to decide, do I want this in my feed or not, right? What I'm doing here is I'm clicking on them and actually looking at the articles and seeing, is this something that, I want to share to my followers, right? Now, I'm not going through and reading every single article, right? And so that's probably one of the first, things that is like my big complaint about Twitter is everyone just, tweeting stuff out. But, I'm experimenting with this right now. So I don't read every single article. I'm more so just looking at the format of the blog post and just overview, does this look like actually valuable content? Did they actually put some work inside of this? Now, this guy here or girl or whoever curated a lot of content here, right? And one thing I'm noticing with this is easy to read. Says girl, there we go, Preetha, right? Easy to read. Not a lot of pop-ups, not a lot of bells and whistles on the blog. I actually really like that, right? So I would say this actually looks pretty good, right? So I'm going to go ahead and approve this one. Okay, so that's the amount of monitoring that I'm doing on this content, right? But I want to show you stuff that really sucks, right? So I'm going to open up this one here. I'm just going to close up this tab here. Right now, on this one here, so just looking at the format of the page of their website, of their blog post, right? So I go through and reading, right? And you can see this one's actually pretty good too. There's not a lot of clutter going on, right? I'm actually noticing that Articulate, the site here, is actually coming up a lot on my queue, right? So this one's not bad either, right? So why stories sell and features and feature lists don't? Okay, cool. All right. I don't know whether or not that's true or not, but I'm not going to read this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Some of you guys will see this video and hate the fact that I'm doing this, but again, this is an experiment. I've been doing this for about 2 weeks or so. So, but what I'm learning most, see, here's another one from Articulate, right? So, okay, cool, right? So I'm liking Articulate as a site because there's not a lot of pop-ups and easy to read the content, right? Right here, I think this is going on LinkedIn. Oh, Scoop It. So Scoop It's nice. So as you scroll down, now you see like one thing that gets me is when content gets crammed between share bars and ads. Maybe the text is too small. Those are the kinds of things that I've been noticing with a lot of the content. It's just hard to read. It's actually hard to pay attention to what's actually there. Like I feel like this share bar right here is really distracting from trying to actually read the content, right? It would be so much easier to go through it visually, I believe, if this wasn't put inside there, right? So interactive content, how to make it work for you, cool, right? So I think that one's okay. It's not bad. I've seen much worse, right? So I'm gonna go through here. Let's go check out this one here. Now this site here, I personally find this site's really bad. Design-wise, I think it looks horrible. I don't know who owns the site, but they're showing up a lot in my queue. And I think just formatting of the text, even just this font to me, not really digging it. So for me, I've been disapproving all the stuff from Social Hire, just because of the format of the content. And a lot of the content I actually went through and actually read some of the content, and it wasn't really, wasn't as great as I would have liked, right? So I'm going to disapprove this one. Right, I go through the next one here. So just by going through this stuff, I've been just personally learning a lot. I've actually gone through and some of the stuff, like I go through it, and this one actually looks cool. I haven't seen this one yet, and I'm actually going through and saying like, who are these people? And I actually go on their site, look up, who's CopyPress. They develop and promote high quality articles. Cool, right? So they're like a content marketing company. So I've actually discovered a lot of cool companies and businesses because of this tool. So I actually like this one here, so I'm going to go ahead and improve it. So on something about Elon Musk here, let's see this. Right, Medium I find has a great, great readability. Right, readability on here. I find myself actually reading articles on Medium. So most of the stuff that's on Medium I really like, right? I'm not going through and vetting every writer or anything like that, right? But this is actually something cool I might actually want to check out later. So I'm going to keep that tab open, and I'm going to approve that one, right here. Webinars are amazing. Let's see what they're talking about. This one here, I've been seeing a lot of Lillian Bullock. Not a big fan of her brand colors. But she's been putting a lot of content. Some of her content has been actually really good. So it looks like here, she's putting some real effort into this. You see how she actually she categorizes down really well. So this is actually really well done. She's been doing a lot of content that's really good. So I would say she could definitely improve on her formatting. See, stuff like this, very hard to read the way that it's formatted. Right? Even the text being kind of gray instead of just black, which would be easier to read, right? So again, not a fan of the colors on her site, but she actually has good content. She's really fleshed out a lot of the ideas that she shares, right? So I'm going to go ahead and approve that one. I haven't approved all of hers, but that one's pretty good. Right here, where we've got failed product business. Let's see what this one's about. The Growth Lab. So, this, like, right away, you look at this. This is actually really nice. Graphically, it looks really nice. I think the layout's really nice. And you go in, and so easy to read this because there's not all this clutter everywhere, right? This is what I'm trying to kind of get to in this video, is like designing your blog and having something that's not cluttered, easy to read. This is a really nice font. The formatting is great, right? I mean, this looks good. I would actually sit down, be able to just sit down, relax, and read this, right? There's a lot of the sites that, I've looked at, and they're just like, bells and whistles and things popping up, and you're just like, what? I want to read this article. This one too, right? Look at this, right? So easy to read when there's not a bunch of clutter, right? So, what cars and freelancing have in common? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and improve this one too. Right, open up the next one here. Forbes. Now, Forbes always has these pop-ups. I don't know what you call this, welcome page. I find this so annoying. I don't know why. They've been doing that for years. I have no idea why. But probably they're selling advertising on that page or whatever. This is okay. I mean, sometimes you get these videos start auto-playing. There's a lot of ads on Forbes, that sort of thing. So, I mean, it's pretty questionable. I'm not going to approve this one. But it's all right. Some of them are okay. Right. So right here, how to use animated GIFs. I have a feeling it's gonna be bad. Oh no, it's we got Arctic. We saw these guys earlier. Yeah, cool. This one's not bad too, right? So it's just cool, like kind of as I've been going through this and kind of like judging, some of these posts, looking into them, and just noticing that a lot. It's just about the format. Like you click, you're like, I don't know, do I want to read this or not? I'm not sure, right? And this one here, like I just find, maybe it's just me, you guys are telling me, I find this hard to read. I find it hard to just like, it's the formatting of the text. You see how they really spaced out their letters? I don't know what you call that, but the spacing between the letters is extended. The, distance between, how you read, how they say like, it's the shorter the distance between the start of the paragraph and the end, the better, so people's eyes can move through it and read it. So I'm just not digging any of this stuff. I don't know. I don't know about social hire. All right. Go over here. Ergo SEO. That is a horrible logo. So right here too, it's like, this text going across, it's all bold. I mean, I don't even know what this says. I'm not sure about really reading this whole thing. What is a skip to the top of the article? Oh, I see. So it looks like they probably put in a lot of work into doing this, but just formatting wise, it's just horrible. And that's what I'm kind of trying to get at here in this video. I'm not going to share this one, right? So from someone who's going through and just looking for content to share on Twitter and just quickly kind of browsing this stuff, again, what I've been getting the most value I've been getting out of Quuu is just looking at the formatting of these blog posts. Like this one's actually not bad. I think this is an easier to read format. Or easy to read font, right? Yeah, this one's not bad at all, right? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to go and approve that one. And here's the last one that we'll do. And social hire again. See, and again, I'm just not into the social hire. So that's just what I want to share. Just if you've got a blog and you've got tons of bells and whistles, I'm going to show you one that I just really didn't like, which was Neil Patel's. And I love Neil Patel. I listen to his podcast all the time. I've followed his content for a long time. But when you're on his blog and you go to one of these posts, first of all, that just didn't even work. I don't know what just happened there, but let's go here. Right, and as I'm going down, and then all these pop-ups keep coming up, and it says like, and see how these things kept jiggling and stuff. And I found it hard to read his content. Right now, we're not getting as many probably because I was here earlier. I've already got the pop-ups. I don't know if they cook me or whatever. But I was just trying to read an article. He's actually got really good content. Actually, he's got great content. I was trying to read it, and it was just like pop-up after pop-up. I was like, damn it! I was like, just let me read the freaking article. So. Yeah, if you're going to, do content marketing, there's one thing to just write content for the sake of SEO, but if you want people to actually read and engage your content, format your blog in a way that makes it easy to read, right? And if you want to get examples of, what's easy to read and what's not easy to read, you could just check out something. I mean, get a free account on SmartQ, and take a look at stuff like this. Even this one, I think this is horrible formatting as well. I've seen Shane Baker here a lot, and it's just not good formatting. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't look, visually appealing, right? You got a light gray font, or color of the font, and we get these pop-ups and stuff, and even this pop-up is not a very nice looking pop-up, and it's like you can even see the, I'm not. Maybe I'm just criticizing design here. I don't know, but I can't even close this pop-up right now. Oh, there we go. I gotta go. No, thank you. There we go. So yeah, that's what I want to share with you today. So let me know if that was helpful. Let me know if you agree, or if you just hate the fact that I am participating in the Twitter bots talking to bots. I do hope that Twitter, fixes, the platform. They recently made it so you could tweet longer tweets, which is awesome. Now they're going to allow you to do Twitter storms where you can have multiple tweets and bunch them all together. That's cool too. But I actually think they should turn off services like this, which a few years back they actually did do something like that where they cut off their API to a lot of apps like this, and then they came back later and Jack Dorsey's like, never mind, you can do it again. And so I think it would be better if they turned this kind of stuff off. But for now, I'm experimenting with just, sharing, doing lots more sharing, and seeing if that drives more engagement to the profile. And then if we get people engaging with the content or, conversations, we can, then engage with those conversations. So I've been experimenting this for a couple of weeks. I'll probably do 2 more weeks of this, see how it goes. If not, I'm just going to, cancel these accounts. I'll probably still use the Quuu Promote. I think that's a good deal. $30, 500 shares, they're legit shares and not fake shares. I think that's not bad. So, but in terms of, tweeting out stuff like this, and there's also the criticism side. So, like, I'm not actually reading the articles and I'm sharing them. I am reviewing them. I'm not reading every single article. So there's that part too, which is definitely not, two standards of best uses. But anyways, so let me know your guys' thoughts on this tool. Let me know if you try it out. I started with a free Quuu account, just started looking at some of the content that was going out there. It also taught me kind of how to structure my own blog. We're building a new blog right now, so we're making changes to the blog based on this as well. Also, when I'm putting in something on Quuu Promote, now I have a better idea of how to design that piece of content so that way it'll get more clicks. So that you could see 500 shares and only 50 clicks, not that great. So the next piece of content I'll put out, I'll put a bit more effort into making it something that's going to stand out in the newsfeed on Twitter. All right. So let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Take care.